Good day and hello. My name is Brian. Today I'm going to work through a phrase I usually work with people who are purchasing lottery tickets. Usually, I actually started using this when I noticed, of course, the huge influx of people when the jackpots get very large. And that aside, it also led me into asking interesting questions and thinking about it myself in some ways. So, what I'm going to talk today is about the phrase, luck favors the prepared. Well, think about that for a second. It has a lot of interesting connotations, depending on also how you define the words. But, I asked someone that, have you ever heard of luck favors the prepared? Yes, no, maybe, variations. Well, I like this phrase. Why? Because it leads into the next one of, what will you do when you win the lottery? Now, the point I asked that question is, and of course give a pause afterwards, is that let the person think about it. Now, the thing is, of course, some people do think about it or have thought about it, so they can give off-the-cuff answers. Or they haven't really thought about it and they have just off-the-cuff answers, just barely anything behind it. So it's like, okay, well, why are you buying the lottery then? Just at the chance of it? Well, what are you going to do when you win? You suddenly have all this wealth, right? So what are you going to do when you win? Well, think about it. If you won, what would you want to do? What are the things you'd like to do? What's the things that you could do? And all that type of stuff. The possibility of thinking about that, using your imagination and dreaming about such things. Just to try to get people started looking at it that way. That's what that part does, is what will you do when you win the lottery? When you start thinking about it, of course I think a lot, obviously. And, okay, you start getting ideas, even if they're just partial pieces and stuff. In my case, I usually get large things and everything else because, I think way too much. Well, maybe not way too much, but I think a lot. And, let's go back to the original phrase. This is actually a three-parter. Luck favors the prepared. Well, you're now somewhat prepared to win because you know sort of what you want to do. You have all these dreams. But now are you also prepared not to win? Because you still have all those dreams. So how do you make those dreams come true? How do you make them happen anyways? And without winning the lottery. It might take 10, 20 years. It might take a little bit longer. But here's an interesting catch. That's also a good way to prepare to win. Because you already have plans in place, you already know exactly what you want to do, but then you get the wealth, and you can then adjust and make it happen a lot faster. If you want it to happen a lot faster, or you might go and do more things at the same time. And part of it is living your life that way, trying to prepare in case you ever did win. But the thing is not just preparing to win, it's preparing to not win, so that if you ever do win, you can move it right in. And you can just make it happen anyways. But you're already making it happen by not just preparing to not win, but assuming you're not going to win, but trying to win. And because even then, it's just, that gives you the kickstart to dream. And then once you actually have those dreams, you know what you want. And then from there, over however much time it would take for that to happen, you know exactly what you want, you start working towards it. And part of that is, of course, then you start researching all the pieces you need to go to it, and also figuring out what the different pieces are you can put in different places. And you can then, of course, look at the values and calculate long-term what you want, but you know that's what you want. So, this all started with a very simple piece. I'll now, of course, break it down to the small parts after explaining it like this. Luck favors the prepared. Ever heard of it? Well, I like that phrase because that lets me ask people when I do this, what will you do when you win? Think about that. Alright, now you have all those ideas about what you want to do. Remember the phrase again, luck favors the prepared. Are you also prepared not to win? Well, you have all those dreams, things that you want to do. How do you make those happen? It might take a lot longer, 10, 20 years, but those are the things that you would really like to happen. How do you make them happen? And that's a good way to prepare to win because you now know exactly how to work forward on what you want. Now when you do win, you can drop in those little pieces, you might speed it up, or do more other applications and spread it out a little faster. There you go. I hope you have a beautiful day.